and I'm now autographing and selling my autobiography addiction memoir books, which I stole from my own release party to sell to buy more heroin. How'd I get there? Now, in theory and on paper, very successful individual. I did things in life people equate to success or happiness that some even dream of doing. First skateboarder to be endorsed by Gatorade at the age of 14, hanging out with Michael Jordan, touring the world with Tony Hawk, New York Times selling author, mother nuclear physicist, brother attorney in the White House. Father died as a direct result of his disease, lived with that after-school special, swore I would never become that man. Now, I'm a 35-year-old homeless heroin addict. In reality, my worldly possessions consist of 8 scarves, 2 jackets, 3 socks, 1 stick of deodorant, fits into a bag that doubles as a pillow, 4 cigarette butts that I dug out of a receptacle, a needle, a spoon, and a restraining order that my mother just served me, and I've just woken up from being on life support for 7 days.
Dang. That's powerful.
So, yeah. So that's that.
Well, what's your daily routine now that you found recovery?
Sobriety has given me everything that drugs and alcohol promised me. May 25th, 2018, I just celebrated 3 years of continuous sobriety without the use of a drink or a drug.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. What I've learned is my history does not have to dictate my future, and as long as I'm breathing, it's never too late. The disease of addiction is not a death sentence.
Now that you're on a new path, have you been riding your skateboard?
Yeah, I'm actually going skating as we speak.
That's cool.
Yeah, my mother, the same one that served me the restraining order, the same one that bought me a plot, the same one that went to God to cure him, kill him, or kill me, I can't take it anymore, called me a year into my process of sobriety, and she said, Brandon, I hate when you come to visit. I said, why? She said, because I get so sad when you leave. That same mother, I took on a cruise to the Bahamas. That same mother I'm taking to see Rod Stewart next month in Florida. Had been on parole and probation from 16 years old to 35, never a free day in between. A year ago, I signed my release paper. Free anywhere with anybody, anytime I like. I no longer live in that self-induced prison that consists of a 4-block radius that costs me $10 to get out of any time. That book that I told you about that I stole to sell to buy more heroin, I had a 3-book deal. When I stole my own books, they ripped that contract up on site. 9 months ago, I had my 2nd book come out. I have 3 more books to follow. I have the first ever addiction graphic novel coming out. I have a documentary going to the Sundance and the Cannes Film Festival. I now work in the drug and alcohol treatment field. I help people get help, because what happens is my defects have become my biggest assets with the slightest shift of perception, and I'll explain to you why that is. I have 2 phones, and they both ring nonstop, and what it looks like is every time someone calls, they say, Novak, if you can get clean, there's no reason why I can't. Can you help me? Because I was that guy that was deemed unhelpable or unfixable. There's some substance to my story. It's tangible. You can see it online. You can read it in the books. You can see it in the tabloids. But you can also see the rebirth of my life without drugs and alcohol in all those same avenues. So it's a little bit different than a 50-year-old professor reading out a textbook, giving a bunch of theories or hypotheses of what may or may not happen if you choose to drink or drug.
Absolutely. Do you have any advice for anyone who might be looking for help?
Yeah, you can call me personally. My cell phone number is 610-635-9092. As long as you're breathing, it's never too late.
Absolutely. I have one more question for you. Do you still feel it would be dangerous to hang out with Bam at this stage in your sobriety and that kind of crowd of people, or what do you feel about that?
Not at all, man. I've experienced the 12 steps of my program that I work, and the promises come true. I no longer think about drinking or drugging, or don't think about drinking or drugging. The desire has been lifted. The obsession has been removed. I'm literally a free man, and that's only because I'm proactive in my sobriety, and I did a lot of internal work. So I can go anywhere with anybody anytime I like. My sobriety doesn't dictate who I go with or who I'm around. I don't believe I got sober to still live in a confined box.
Absolutely. And I can relate to some of your story just for a little bit because I was addicted to heroin and now I'm coming up with 5 years clean. And, you know, for me, I'm a part of the program too. And it's just really cool to be able to have people, you know, that you don't see every day, you know what I mean, that can say that they're in recovery and live the life of recovery, being a successful member of society.
Yeah, that's the name of the game, man. That's why, you know, that to me is what sobriety looks like. If you want to know how my sobriety is doing, ask my mother, ask my employers, ask the government, because I'm now a tax-paying member of society. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, ask my family. Yeah, ask my friends.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate the interview so much, Brandon. You are so awesome. Thanks for helping everybody in the recovery community, too.
Thank you so much. God bless, and thank you for giving me the ability to share my message.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brandon.
See you later, girl.
I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
Cool.
Okay, bye. Wow, what an amazing story. I have to say, every time I do a podcast, I always think that was the best interview. But that blew my mind away. Unbelievable. People can relate to that even if they're not in recovery or struggling in their addiction, because he just has so much inspiration that you can become, or you can do anything. That was super cool. What a cool dude and what an amazing story. He's a great example of showing your past does not define your future. And also, success does not equal happiness. All those outside things do not fill that empty void. And that was a testimony that I needed to hear today. I need to hear that most days because I like to fill that empty void with things outside myself. But really, I need to fill it with my higher power and fill it with positive things. Or too much of a positive thing can become a negative thing. So here is the reading today. I actually didn't read it beforehand like I usually do. Sometimes I read like 2 or 3 of them around the date of the day of, just to find the best one. But I'm going to go of the correct date. And this is out of the book, Each Day is a New Beginning. One of my favorite books. For many years, I was so flexible and didn't know who I was. And now that I'm discovering who I am, I think, okay, I know where I stand on that issue, now on to the next one. But I have to remind myself that all issues are interrelated. No one is separate. Today flows from yesterday, the day before that. Tomorrow repeats the pattern. What we are given on any one day will have its beginning in the past and its final in the future. No incident is isolated entirely. No issue is self-contained. Maturity is being able to let go of outgrown attitudes, stifling opinions, no matter how good and right they were at one time. Our egos often get too attached to some of our opinions, and new ideas can't filter in. Some will try to get our attention today. We are ready for new growth. The choice not to hamper, it is ours to make. The opinions we held certain yesterday may not be adequate to the problems of today. They need not be. They served us well. They are not for naught. Today's issue needs today's fresh responses. I will be unafraid. Today flows from yesterday, the day before, and the day before that. Tomorrow follows suit. That was a good reading. A good reminder to be open-minded and go with the flow. To ride the waves. I like that reading. It reminds me to enjoy the journey and not to miss the small miracles around you. And there will always be more goals and commitments. And just take time and slow down and make memories. Memories that don't cost anything. You don't need an expensive vacation. You need to make the memories slowing down. The plans that weren't planned. You know, we're always looking forward to the next goal, the next thing, the next commitment. Let's take time and appreciate the struggle and the journey, the in-between time. So here's my one-liner joke of the day. The wife sent me out shopping and said I should buy something to make her look pretty. So I got 2/5 of rum and a case of beer. Divorce is final tomorrow. That's a good one. I'm sure that's what he had when he first met her too. And he's probably been on it the whole time, obviously. That does it for this episode of Recovery Talk Podcast. Again, my name is Holly, and if you could, please like us on Facebook or share our page, Recovery Talk Podcast, and let someone know about this podcast that needs some hope, some inspiration in their life, because we certainly need more of that. So thanks for listening. Until next time, have a good one.